Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Sector 1 Sim Racing. We are here live on the YouTubes, as always, on a Sunday evening. We are here at Blue Moon Bay Infield in the United States of America for round 6 of our Season 10 series. We are here for the Category 1. 1B first up tonight, and 1A, and my name is Carbon Boy, and joining me in the comms box tonight is none other than the plumber himself, Mr. Bumcrack. How are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you, mate, and good evening to all out there tonight. This is going to be quite a tight show again. We saw last week's races was some very tight racing. Tonight's going to be no different.
I'm glad to hear that. I didn't see a lot of tight racing last week due to my slight skill issue that left me way off the back. But I've been told it was fantastic. But
hey, while you were there behind me, it was very tight racing.
For that brief few laps, we did have some great racing here in the community series last night. Some fantastically close racing. And looking forward to more of it tonight. So we're back to our regular format tonight with our 10-minute qualifying. And we just have a quick look at our track map again tonight. So Blue Moon Bay, half of the oval of Blue Moon Bay Speedway, makes it relatively easy for half of the track. It's only 10 turns, 3.3 kilometers. But it's that infield section that's a lot more technical than the track map actually makes it out to be. It's really, really tricky to maintain speed through some of those sectors. You've got to be absolutely precise with your braking and turn points. Possibly said something similar about that last night, but that's okay. I'm happy to repeat myself because it doesn't make it any less true. We are, of course, using a fuel wear rate of 3 times, a fuel usage rate of 4 times, and we have the adjusted fuel rate for 2 litres a second, which does encourage a bit of a fuel saving strategy because otherwise you're going to be sitting in the pits for a painfully long time. And of course, both compounds of tyre are in use, being the Racing Soft and the Racing Medium tyre, which does give a little bit of a variety to strategy, which I will flick over to that now. We'll have a quick look-see at that. And of course, you've got your 2 basic strategies, being strategy 1 is Racing Medium. Basically split the race into 2, so it's a 38 lap race tonight, so you can split it into straight down the middle at 19 laps, or you could go the slightly more aggressive strategy using nothing but the Racing Softs and do a 2-stop. So that would be 12, 13, 13, or any mixture of those numbers. As long as you get to 38 laps, you're fine. Or there is the third option of a hybrid strategy using the mediums for, let's say, about a 24 to 25 lap stint, and then doing a 13 or 14 lap stint on the Racing Softs if you're able to make them last that long, of course. That was going to be my objective last week. Didn't quite get to make that happen as skill issue. Couple of walls, let's just say it didn't end well for me. So we will just have a quick look at our Category 1 points, and there was a big shake-up after the stewarding process had been completed after our last round at Sardinia. Things are a little bit spicy on track, and unfortunately a few drivers paid for it in the steward's room. So having a look tonight, we're starting off with a Category 1B brought to you by Boxer Beauty. Just on the cusp of moving up into Category 1A is Thunder Artsy, the team owner from Thunder Motorsport on 73. Just behind him is one of my boys, Ricky Bobby from APR Motorsport. Just behind him, or equal on points, there's 3 of them, is one of your guys there, Mr. Plumber, Dale Teeks from Kraken Esports. Morgan Davies, after his expensive trip to the stewards room last week finds himself back down in 1B, but pretty sure he won't be here for too long. I can foresee him having some good results and getting himself back up into 1A quick smart. And then a little further afield is the team owner of Dadson Racing, Dadson himself. Then there is the banker from Doghouse Motorsport. Now, I have been informed that he is unavailable this evening, but one of his drivers, being Gur, will be filling in for him tonight for team points only. And we've got Boy Bagum from Black Root. I'm going to get his name right one day. Boy Bagum. Mate, you're going to have to chime in and teach me how to say your name.
Boy Bagum.
Boy Bagum, there we go. Right, we'll go with that. From Black Rose Racing, Tim Durags from the other Switchblade driver. We've got Danico from Hooncorp, followed by his teammate Hodes. We've got Stickers, a team owner from Lightning Motorsport. And Racing Accountant, unfortunately, is no longer with us. He's unfortunately had to step aside from the season due to personal reasons, but his fill-in for Symmetry Motorsports is one of our community drivers, Zero Placement. He's been a regular driver in our community series so far this season and has shown some rather rapid pace. So tonight is his inaugural race in the main game of Sector 1, so we wish him the best of luck and I'm keen to see how he goes. And then there's also Sizzling Sausage from Black Rose Racing and the other Symmetry driver in E-Bulk, rounding out the Category 1B. So, how are we looking, Mr. Bumcrack? Are we good to go for qualifying?
Oh, I've just put the ready statement up there on their notice board, so I believe they should all be getting ready to head down to the track right now if we need to.
Lovely. Just say hello to everyone in the YouTube chat. We've got Mr. Robert Rice. Hello, hello. We've got Stranger in there as well. Debrev, g'day mate. How you doing? Got a few viewers in there, so if anyone would like to throw in the chat who they think who is going to get pole positioned here tonight, I'm keen to see your predictions.
Well, I might get these lads just about underway, eh?
Sounds like a plan to me. I'm keen to see the qualifying results tonight. I'm, of course, going to be not at all biased to Ricky Bobby. And nor shall we be biased to your guy Dale Teague. So I think we'll just...
Well, I'm going to be. He was actually looking very sharp.
Well, appreciate the honesty.
Just try and keep the camera off him, hey? We won't have any of this commentator's curse going on.
Can't do that.
It lands where it lands.
Out on track now, and coincidentally, because the timing has not quite sorted itself out, we've got first out on track is none other than your boy Dale Teagues. The beautiful Komatsu sponsored Kraken Esports livery. And now that they've gone through the first sector, everything sorts itself out. No, it doesn't. This is just a giant mess. Alright.
Oh, yes, it is.
Just going to have to work with it. We've got Boy Gum from Black Rose. Got the Stranger filling in for team points for the Doghouse. It's not working for me. It's all over the place, and there's not really a lot I can do about it. I think we're finally there. So we've got Thunder Artsy from Thunder Esports coming around the final bend. In his slipstream, we've got Dale Teagues and Ricky Bobby. So that'll be interesting if the three of those drivers can work together for qualifying. Going in line astern is Tim Durags from Switchblade. Danico from Hooncorp probably just tagged onto the end of that little slipstream train, so he should be able to take advantage of some slipstream to get a slightly better time. Now, we did see last night that Danico is a bit of a tyre murderer, so might be worth keeping an eye on tonight to see how he goes in terms of tyre wear. Stickers, of course, in the beautiful green and black Lightning Motorsport car. Codes from Hubencorp. I love that camera glitch. Pops up in turn 3. Just get a beautiful grey screen. Boy, we're cool. Boy. Yeah. Bubble gum. And zero placement in the revised livery from the Symmetry. They've now gone with a Jetmark sponsorship. And the colours have changed from the pink, black and white to an orange and black, which, I've got to say, I'm a big fan of orange myself, so I certainly have no disagreements with that livery. First out of the traps for fastest lap tonight is none other than Ricky Bobby, setting a 1 minute and quickly smacked off the table by Boy Bagham as zero placement, and Morgan Davies now doing a 1 minute 12.314.
Wow.
Which is stupidly rapid. I was expecting to see a driver somewhere in the high 12s, not the low 12s. I mean, was it slipstream assisted? I'm not entirely sure.
Quite possibly, but it was well earned regardless. Wow.
Yeah, look, he's got
That's insane.
zero placement right up his bumper, both literally on track and figuratively on the timing boards. It's only 3/10 off the back of him. So Morgan's very, very sideways coming out of the tabletop. Keep an eye on these two drivers. As Dale Teagues has put himself into P2, pipping zero placement.
What? Zero placement, tap the wall on the way out.
Oh, he's decided the pits is going to be good for him. I reckon that that lap from Morgan may have been slipstream assisted, as he's just set a 1:13.1 follow-up lap.
We're only allowed 2 hot laps.
Yeah, I don't think the...
I'm not sure how this works.
I'm not sure exactly what Morgan and Dale are up to.
Yeah, that's... I'll leave that up to the administration to sort that.
Yeah, look, you get...
I
the qualifying
sort
format
that.
here tonight is 1 out lap, 2 flying laps, and then pull into the pits. Job done. Not quite sure what these guys are up to, but any laps at this point will be disregarded. Right, that's
Well, that sorted itself out anyway.
yes. I don't
Well.
think anybody actually improved on their laps, which is good to see.
No one got to finish them, that's why.
Excellent. That's what I like to see. So, I'd prefer to see all drivers following the guidelines for what we have for the format, but that doesn't always happen, as it turns out. But that's okay. Moving along, we shall take a quick recap of our qualifying results. So, on pole position tonight with an absolutely stonking lap of a 1:12.341, Morgan Davies, and P2 tonight, we're also dipping into the 1:12s, is Dale Teagues. Second row of the grid is a zero placement on his debut into Sector 1, putting it onto the second row, closely followed by Boy Bagham. Third row of the grid is Ricky Bobby, followed by Thunder Artsy. Fourth row of the grid is Tim Durags and E-Bulk. So both of the Symmetry guys in the top 8. That'll have their team owner cheering, I'm sure. The 5th row of the grid is locked out by Hooncorp with Hodes and Danico. 6th row of the grid is Dadson and the Stranger, and followed by Stickers in P13 to round out our starting grid tonight. Oh, you must be pretty pleased right now, Mr. Plummer. Your boy.
Yeah, he's yeah, that's actually a pretty good job considering. I think it's Morgan Davey there who's pretty well going to assert himself as back into a Division 1 position. But yeah, I'm quite impressed.
4/10 off the back of Morgan Davies, but I think it would be fair to say that was most likely a slipstream assisted lap.
Quite possibly.
So that's probably gotten him that extra couple of tenths. He would still be in the 112s, but
that's what qualifying's about.
Yep. Get the quickest lap you possibly can, and hope like heck for the rest of it.
Yes, so planning it's called.
Ah, is that what I haven't been doing? Right. I should be doing more of that. All right. So, what do you say we get this race underway? Won't keep anyone waiting.
Yes, just give me. Can we just get one more minute? I've got Dale on a 2-minute promise from the end of that race.
Roger, roger. So just check in with the YouTube chat. Who else have we got here to say hello to? We've got Lime Cordial, which, if my memory serves me correctly, that is Artsy's son, if I recall correctly. So he's here in the YouTube chat cheering on his dad. Mr. Lime Cordial, please correct me if I'm wrong. I frequently am, so don't feel too bad about it. Hello, Bossman, Mr. Adam Brewer, he's in the chat as well, cheering on his boys. Evening, Captain Muffin, how we doing? Hello, Foss, hope you're doing well. I hope you're ready for a decent race tonight yourself. You're up next in Cat 1A. While you're there, people, throw in a podium prediction if you wouldn't mind. Top 3, no particular order.
Well, yes, that'll be interesting. Are we ready to roll?
I am ready when you are. Whenever you mash that big button is when I'm good to go.
The button has been mashed. I'll be on the track in a couple of seconds.
Beautiful. We're just getting everyone set up on the grid. Hopefully we do not have any delays or issues. I mean, GT7 is always going to be doing GT7 things, but so far so good. We've got cars on the grid, waiting for the lights. We've got 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights are green. Decent start. Everybody's gotten off the line nice and smoothly. Will there be mayhem going into turn 1? I surely hope not. Never quite know. Everybody's slotting into a little bit of side-by-side action, but everybody's being very well behaved about it. Single file, nice and smooth, going through turns 2 and 3. 0 placements, managed to get the jump on Dale Peaks through that first sector, move himself up into P2. Everyone else seems to be just holding station at this point. Boy Bagoon looking for a move down the inside of Dale Teaks. He's going to leave him on the outside of the tabletop. It's not a place you want to be. Ricky Bobby's ever the opportunist. Slides up the inside. Thinks better of it, tucks back in behind Boy Bagoon for that final corner. Not a place you want to go side by side. Ricky Bobby's also got his own things to worry about in the form of Tinder Rags right off the rear of him. Looks like there's a little bit of bump drafting assistance going on. Tim doesn't want to hang around, doesn't want to fight, because he knows Artsy's right there. Boy Bagoon sends it down the inside of turn 1. Gives Ricky Bobby a little bit of a touch, nothing major. gets the move done. He's now put his head down and he's got his sight set on Dale Teagues. Up the front though, it's starting to warm up. Zero placement's going to work on Morgan Davies. Wanted to have a little bit of a look down the inside of the hairpin there, but nothing doing. It's Morgan Davies purple, currently holding the fastest lap. We all know, Morgan being Morgan, he's got one speed, flat out. There is no conserve, there is no save. It is drive fast.
Zero placement's not letting him get away.
Definitely not. He's keen to hang on to the back of Morgan. Doesn't want to let him disappear into the distance. Both drivers a little wiggly there, coming back up onto the embankment out of turn 1. Chiropractor's dream, that corner. Just has dropped off by a couple of tenths there. He's now got Dale Teagues creeping up onto his rear bumper to worry about. Dale's got Boyd Bagham to worry about. Tim Durags has made a move and got it done on Ricky Bobby. He's up into P5. Ricky Bobby's now got Thunder RC right on his rear bumper. It's all fairly single file, very well behaved at this stage, which I'm liking. But we all know it's Category 1. Things can kick off in a heartbeat. As Thunder Artsy's got a fantastic run out of that final corner with the slipstream. Doesn't go for the move. Gives Ricky Bobby the little hurry up tap. Danico, on the other hand, he had the slipstream and he decided, bugger it, I'm going to go for the overtake. Makes a move on Thunder Artsy. Moves himself up into P7. Not sure Artsy's particularly pleased about that. He's going to be looking very, very racy at the moment. He's in the middle of a Hoon Corp sandwich. Got Danico ahead of him. Hode's right behind him. Check back in up the front. Morgan Davies still got zero placement, 4 tenths off the back for company. Zero placement's putting in a fantastic effort on his debut race. He's not letting Morgan go. Currently the fastest lap holder is Danico with a 1:13.5. That would have been set on lap 3, so 2 laps ago. Zero placement's now got Boyd Bagham zoning in on his rear bumper. He's only 3 tenths behind. Black Rose driver putting in an absolutely sensational effort early on in this race. Just checking in the YouTube chat. Lime Cordial, my sincere apologies. I said that you were Thunder Artsy's son. My sincere apologies. Thunder Artsy's daughter. Correction. My mistake. But it's fantastic to see you here and cheering on your dad. I hope he does really well tonight. There's probably bigger things I could have gotten wrong, but it doesn't make that any less embarrassing.
And we have done.
Yeah, true, and probably will do it. Will do again.
More than likely.
Boyd Bagham has dropped off the back of zero a little bit, but he's still easily there within slipstream. A little bit of movement further back in the field. Tim Durags got his way past Ricky Bobby. Damn, that camera glitch is really starting to annoy me. Ricky Bobby's looking very racy on the back of Tim Durags. I don't think he wants to give up that P5 so easily. Actually, I think that movement I saw was Thunderati getting back past Danico. So he gets himself out of that hoop court sandwich. I think he would have gotten that done at turn 1, possibly turn 2. He's going to want to put his head down and get back to chasing Ricky Bobby. Now, I don't want to go for a full tyre and fuel update just yet, but if you could, Mr. Bumcrack, could you let us know who's on what tyre, who's doing what in terms of strategy?
I've just been going through that. There's only 2 drivers out there who are actually on soft tyres.
Oh, okay.
The highest placed of which is Boybagum, and he's actually been watching him rise through the field quite well. He's come up a couple of places. And the other one is, surprise, surprise, Danico with the fastest lap.
Aha!
Everyone else is on mediums, so there's still a fair bit of strategy to be played out before we know exactly what they're up to.
So Boybagum is definitely taking advantage of his soft tyres. What did he start? He qualified in P6 or 7, I think.
It was around mid-pack somewhere, I believe, yeah.
It's only been like 8.5 minutes. You'd think my memory would be a little bit better, unfortunately.
It was actually 4th.
Okay, so 4th.
Went back into my record, so it's, yeah. But he got he dropped back a fair bit at the start.
Right, always he's put the nose down the inside of zero placement down the main straight, and he's looking to make a move here into turn 1.
It's a ton.
Very, very easily. No resistance at all there from zero placement. I think he knew what was going to happen and just lets it go. Doesn't want to waste time, as he's very conscious of having Dale Teagues on the back of him now. Dale wants to get past. He's making his intentions very, very clear. I think these guys are smart. They know if they spend too much time mucking around with each other and fighting, then Morgan's just going to skip off into the distance. And there's not going to be a lot that they'll be able to do to catch back up to him. As it is, he's worked his way out to nearly a second over Boybagum. Still in P5, just on the cusp of the slipstream from Dale, so he can hang in there. Ricky Bobby's 1.1 seconds back, say 1.2 seconds back, a little bit just outside the slipstream, but with a bit of work he'll be able to get back in there and tag back on the back of Tim Durags. Artsy in P7, he's got a fair bit of space around him now actually. He's got 2 seconds to Ricky Bobby, and another 2.5 seconds back to E-Bolt.
We didn't notice Danico has been in for bits.
Oh, so he was one of those two drivers on softs, wasn't he?
That's correct, he's come in at the end of lap 8.
Wow, so the tyre murderer status from the community race last night is still in effect, I would assume.
Yes.
He was on the softs at 8 laps. Ouch. So it's 8, 16, 24, 32. That's a 4-stopper. That's
big.
That's
big
Buffett levels of alternative strat.
It certainly is.
Just wondering where Danico disappeared to. Was in the top 8, has just dropped out. So he's just done his outlap on a fresh set of softs, I assume.
Yes.
So he's going for a very interesting strategy. Davies is just slowly stretching out that lead to 1.2 seconds. He doesn't want to put a foot wrong, I'm imagining, because he's got a hot little pack behind him in the form of Boy Bagum, the replacement, Dale Teagues and Tim Durags. And that is a lot of speed and talent that would not hesitate to overtake if you made even the slightest mistake. Speaking of overtaking, zero placement shows the nose down the inside. Actually, not sure if he was showing the nose to Boy Bagum or driving defensive from Dale Teagues. Possibly a little bit of both. They're all just running comfortably line astern at the moment. As soon as I say that, you watch it all kick off. Zero's just gone into the back of Boy Bagum there at the hairpin. Don't think there was any malicious intent in that. Just slightly misjudged his braking. Umpire says play on. Everyone continues. So now that we're on lap 11, what do you say we switch to the hold up there, 3 wide into turn 1?
Oh, what's going to happen here?
This is getting a bit crazy. Zero placements, made the move. Dale Teagues is now up into second. Sort it out, boys. Play nice. Boy Bagum's just been shuffled out.
They got around.
They've done very, very well there. That is some great driving. Boy Bagum just... he wants to continue having the conversation about this. Side by side with Dale through turn 2, if you don't mind.
I've really got to sack that cameraman.
I have managed to remove him from the stream, so he's no longer doing grey screen for me. It's still on between Dale and Boy Bagum, as they're not letting go. I think Boy Bagum has just had to relinquish that third spot from Dale. This might just be that crossover point where the worn softs are starting to become a little bit slower than the still quite healthy medium tyres. Which Boy Bagum is on the softs and is getting helped along down the main straight by Tim Durags. But what do you say we switch to a full-blown tyre and fuel update?
I think that should be a good time to do it about now.
Right, let's get into it. Brought to you by APR Automotive. You are in safe hands.
And up the front there by 2.1 seconds, like absolutely flying along. Morgan on the mediums. Probably about 25% worn on the front right, which is the nastiest tyre on this track. And sitting bang on 50% fuel. 2.2 seconds behind him is zero placement. Now he's sitting on about 30% worn on his mediums, and possibly about 45% fuel. So he's used a little bit more of the whole car than Morgan. Dale, he's on about 48% fuel. Used about 25% of his tyres, so a little bit behind Morgan overall. Tim Durags is actually, he's only used about 20, maybe 25% of his front tyres, and he's on about 47% fuel, so he's done pretty well for himself so far. Boy Bagum, his front right on these softs is trashed. It's about 75% worn. He's not so bad on the 48% fuel, but he'll be in for a pit stop this lap or the next, I'd imagine. Then we step back to Tim Durags, who's still in 5th place, is only 3.5 seconds off the lead. He's on medium tyres at about 30% worn. about 45% fuel. Ricky Bobby's a little bit worse, well, actually a lot worse off for tyres. He's on about 40% worn, with a similar amount of fuel on board. So Ricky Bobby's been given his medium tyres a bit of a hiding. EE Bulk has treated his tyres very well. He's only about 25% worn, the usual 45% fuel. Thunderazzi's been harsh on his tyres. He's got about 50% worn on those mediums. He's really given him a hard time. But he's on 50% fuel, so he's done quite well there. Stickers, about the average 30% worn on his racing mediums, and about 42-43% fuel, so not quite as good as everyone else. Hodes, he's about average with everyone else at about 30% worn and nearly 50% fuel, so he's done quite well on fuel. The Stranger...
Just as you skipped part, or just as you mentioned Stickers there, he's managed to get the move done on Artsy down the main straight into turn 1, putting himself up into P8 with a beautiful textbook manoeuvre, and considering he started P13, Stickers is doing quite well so far in this race.
He was actually, yeah, he was, I think he was even back to last place at one moment there, but he's done quite well for himself. That's alright. And Hodes, he's been pretty nice to his tyres, at about 30% worn on his mediums, and pretty average fuel at about 48% left. The Stranger has been very good to his tyres, with only about 20% of his racing mediums worn. And he's 42% fuel left, so not quite as good as the best, but not as bad as the worst. Dadson's been harsh on his front right tyre. He's about 50% worn on that thing. He's given it the berries of those poor tyres. And he's on about 45% fuel as well. And back a bit further there we have Danico, who is really struggling here. He's been he's not been that many laps out on this next set of soft tyres, and he's at about 75% worn again, about 40% fuel. So I think Danico's had a very harsh night tonight.
His consolation this boy with a 113.528. And thank you very much, Mr. McCrack, for our tyre and fuel update brought to you by APR Automotive.
Welcome.
Cheeky sponsored plug. And a bit of happy news for you. Your boy Dale has moved himself up to P2. He's got himself past zero placement. Weibagum down to P5. Still chugging around on those flogged out soft tyres, I believe, on lap 16. But he's looking to duck into the pits. He's into the pits now. 16 laps off a set of softs with a full tank of fuel on the car. That's a very commendable effort. That's a
nasty second stop.
Oh, Boibagum's second stop.
Yes, isn't it?
I don't think so. I wouldn't have imagined he'd be this high up the grid if he'd already pit.
No, wow. 16 laps.
Apparently so, yes. Yeah, look, we've got some work to do in terms of tyre conservation in Category 2 by the sound of things.
The tyre whisperer, like, wow. That is
very, very impressive, not going to lie.
Isn't it? I was thinking he must have done it, because, I mean, Danico's on his second set, and he's due for another set now.
What did he pit end of lap 8? End of lap 17, yeah. It's going to be a long, expensive night for the Hoon Corp tyre guys.
Yes.
Morgan Davies still out in front, but he's not tearing away with it either. He's only 1.2 seconds in front of Dale. He's got zero placement there, keeping in company still. It's just half a second behind. Dinderags is still within touch. He's only 2 seconds off the back of zero. Not quite close enough to take advantage of any slipstream effect, but certainly close enough to take advantage of any mistakes that are made. got a fair bit of gap back to Ricky Bobby in P5. E-Bolt's in P6. The other Symmetry driver. So Symmetry guys having a good result so far tonight. I say so far because it certainly is far from over. We're only on lap 18 of 38, so still 20 laps to go. Stickers is the man on the move tonight. He's up into P7 from starting in P13. This has been an absolutely solid drive so far from him. And I've put the Mozza on him a few times before, so I'm going to get the camera off him so I don't do it again.
Oh. 0 placements in for his medium tyres.
Okay. And just watching Artie going into the pits as well.
Stickers is in.
Hodes from Hooncorp going around again. Very similar fuel usage from the guys who have pit. All around the 20 to 25% mark. Was there much discussion of strategy in the Kraken Esports team room?
Yes, there was a little bit of strategy talks involved. Basically, I think most of us were going for the easy option. Medium, and depending when you pitted was basically dependent on when the race, what happened during the race. We're right in the middle of the pit windows at the moment, so people could be pitting now or maybe even next lap or the lap after.
Speaking of which, Dale and Tim Durags both in the pits.
There you go.
Pretty much identical fuel usage, 21 and 22%.
Yes.
Volk's in as well, also with 22% in the tank. Morgan's going around again. I am going to throw my prediction out there that he's going to go long on this first stint of mediums, as long as he can, and then throw on a set of softs to come on home. Now, you watch me be wrong, but I've been wrong so many times before, I'm happy to do it again.
It's quite the risk.
That does, however, in those pit stops, does promote my boy Ricky Bobby up to provisional P2. I remember you saying in the tyre and fuel update that his front right tyre was absolutely hammered, so it would be interesting to see whether he comes into the pits at the end of this lap. Or whether he can hang it out there a bit longer. Morgan's going around again.
Nico's had his fresh tyre on as well.
Ricky Bobby's going around again. Have a look at Hodes. He's going around again. Stranger, currently P4. He's going around again. Dale Teagues is on his outlap. He's in P5 at the moment. But the 4 guys in front of him have not pit yet. So he's 52 seconds off the back of Morgan Davies. I'm not even going to try and do the math on what a pit stop is and what the transition is. And
with tyres only, it was only about 15 seconds, I believe.
there you've got the fuel, which is at 2% a second. There's too many variables for my brain to comprehend it. Put it this way, I'm as keen as everyone else to see whether he's managed to undercut or Morgan Davies or not. Speak to the devil, Morgan decides to pull it into the pits at the end of lap 21. He's got 15% in the tank, which, having run a couple of extra laps compared to the guys behind who's already pitted, 15% left in the tank's not that bad considering the other guys were coming in a lap or two earlier with 21 to 24%. So his fuel usage is pretty much on par with everyone else. Ricky Bobby goes around again. Oh, hello, there's been a bit of an incident. Got a yellow flag for Hodes. Oh, Dadson's gone around. That's not good. Dadson having a bit of a shocker right there. See if we can catch that on our live replay. I suspect we may not, but oh, he's just coming out of turn 1. I suspect that embankment may have just unsettled his car and has sent him right into the inner wall. A little bit of front damage, and the wheel's a bit how you going as well. So quite possibly worn tyres combined with the chiropractor's dream corner equals car into wall. As Ricky Bobby goes around again, starting lap 23. I'm sensing he's going the long, medium, short, soft strategy, which was my aspiration last week. So keen to see how it works out for him, because I missed my opportunity to take it. Hodes has gone around again. Stranger's gone around again as well. So Morgan Davies has been and done his stop. He's out again, and the gap back to Dale Teagues is 1.8 seconds. So much of a muchness in regards to the strategy.
Yes.
Boy, the Goom's got himself into P6, which with 3 guys who have not pit, that puts him P3 at the moment. And he's 3 seconds up the road from 0 placement after the pit stops, so that's a very healthy margin.
Yeah.
Are you able to tell us what tyres are Morgan, Dale, or basically 4th through to 8th? Who's on what tyre there?
Everybody is on medium tyres.
Right.
Except one driver who was actually E Bolts back to softs. He started off with mediums and he's moved to soft tyres already 2 laps ago. So he's going to get a soft, I'd imagine, which is a big call. But otherwise, everyone else is on medium tyres.
Okay.
And nearly everyone, except the Stranger, on those who haven't pitted yet, nearly everyone who has pitted are all very similar fuel numbers. They're pretty well all filled up with the same quantities of fuel. So they're going to be settled into where they are. The top 3, they're yet to pit. And Ricky Bobby's nearly out of fuel right now and got some really horrible looking tyres off for him.
Well, we're on lap 24, so if he pits at the end of this lap for some softs, he's only going to have to do 14, which we saw Boy Bagoom do 16 with a full tank of fuel, so it is entirely possible.
Ricky.
0 placements currently got Tim DeRags right on his rear bumper again, wanting to say hello. Not that far behind the both of them is Thunder Artsy. He'll be keen to see these guys battle in front of him. Hodes is in the pits. Looks like Ricky Bobby's going around again.
Yeah, I'm watching him at the moment. He's got no fuel in the tank. It's you really must be trying to save some fuel. He's got no front right tyre left, maybe 5%, 2% left maybe. He's struggling out there.
I think he has lapped Danico.
That is correct.
There is the Who Court car behind him. Is that Danico?
It is Danico. He's in 12th position.
He's not having a strong night. As Hodes has come out of the pits in P10, the other Who Court driver. Has he got a fresh set of softs on, or has he gone the mediums? Hodes.
Who was that?
Hodes is P10.
He has got softs on.
Alright, so he's going to be coming home very, very fast as Ricky Bobby is into the pits with no fuel in the tank. So he has timed that to perfection, and I dare say he will be throwing in enough fuel to do 13 and a bit laps. Fresh set of softs, and he's going to be coming home very, very quickly. The tyre and fuel whisperer tonight is the Stranger. He's going around again for a 26th lap. See
Yeah,
how the conservation strategy works out for him.
He's done really well on those tyres. They're only 80% worn. They're still looking really good. He's going to run out of fuel before he runs out of tyres.
His lap times have been very consistent as well. That last lap there, lap 25, was his first into the 116s. All the rest of his laps that I can see have been mid to low 115s.
Yeah.
That's the metronome award sign sealed and delivered for tonight. Morgan Davies in P2 at the moment after the other guys have ducked into the pits and done their thing. He's 3.4 seconds up the road from Dale Teeks, who is also 5.5 seconds up the road from Boy Bagum, who is, unfortunately for him, only half a second up the road from Zero Placement and Tim Durags and Artsy. He's got 3 guys in rapid succession who want to hunt him down and take that, what is provisional P3 now that Stranger's into the pits with 0 fuel in the tank. So that's going to knock him a little bit further down the order tonight. He is racing for team points only, but as Zero Placement makes his way past Boy Bagum, gets a beautiful run in a slipstream down the main straight, gets the move done into turn 1. Thank you very much, she says. I'll have that. Sparks flying everywhere as they come back up the embankment out of turn 1. So everyone here is on the medium tyres, so they're all on the equal footing. They're all on the same playing field.
Well, Ricky Bobby's exited the pits with softs on as well. Back down in 9th. As with the Stranger.
He's got stickers in P10 right behind him. His stickers also on the soft tyres?
No, stickers is on the medium tyres.
Okay. And Ricky Bobby is currently purple through that final sector. Probably looking to take that fastest lap away from Danico. We'll just stick with him for a little bit longer and see if he can get it done. Hashtag no bias.
Low fuel run. Should have a good crack at it.
Oh, it doesn't quite get there. 1:13.57. So 500ths off. 400ths off. So alright, we'll go around again. Morgan Davies has stretched out that lead just that little bit more to 4.1 seconds now. Dale Teeks looking very comfy with a 5-second get back to Zero Placement. That is a very, very spicy pack behind him. Boy Bagum, Tim Durags, Artsy. And if I'm not mistaken, E-Bulk is coming along to join the party as well, and he's bringing Hodes along.
Well, E-Bulk has those soft tyres. He's got to make some advantage out of them for a little bit.
Now, was he one of the earlier pitters? As in, you'll have to go again to get another set of softs?
I believe so, yes. Yes. We've got 10 laps to go. 9 laps to go.
10 laps to go.
Yep.
Including this one. So,
yeah.
I dare say he will pull the pin at the end of this lap. I don't see him doing another 8 or 9 laps out of the current set of tyres. Tim Durags has managed to get his way past Boy Bagum up into P4. Missed that move, unfortunately, but he does just tag the wall on the exit of the final turn.
That hurts.
Might just jump on board Boom for a lap. The sun's going down here at Blue Moon Bay. Stuck firmly into the slipstream of Tinder Rags. Wide line into turn 1. Right up onto the rear bumper. A little bit of a loss of traction. He's showing the nose a little bit for turn 2. Nothing doing. It's deceptively fast through that sector there, through turns 2 and 3. You think you have to slow down, but you can actually pretty much take a flat chat with a slight lift if you have to. That tricky tabletop, double left-hander, hard on the gas, a little bit opposite lock. The final corner requires 110% commitment. Millimetre either way, you're hitting the inside wall or the outside wall. Pick your flavour. But he's now got Artsy side by side down the main straight. There's no bump drafting going on here. It is on for young and old. Artsy says, I will have that. Takes a much narrower line than Boibagoom. That can compromise your speed. Boibagoom manages to hold it on the inside. They're side by side at the exit.
Nice. Not giving up on it.
Artsy's got the big ascent. He's off into the grass. He's managed to recover it though. He's done brilliantly actually to only drop a second back behind Boibagoom. As we will have a look at that on our live action replay brought to you by JSM Accounting, if I can actually get it. I don't think there was any touch there. I think that was just running that little bit too wide for Artsy. He's done well to gather that back up. I've certainly run a bit wide onto the grass there at that corner myself a few times, and pretty much every time it ended a lot worse than that. So he's done a brilliant job there. That has let Hodes sneak his way past, unfortunately. While we were taking a look at that replay, Hodes has snuck his way up into P6. He's picked up that spot over Artsy, who might just be kicking himself now. He's a little bit sideways there into turn 1, and that's going to let Ricky Bobby get right onto the back of him. He's only 8 tenths off the back of Artsy, so things not going well for the Thunder Esports team owner, although I say that, goes purple through the first sector. And he's currently the holder of the fastest lap too, with a 1:13.502 set on lap 30, so he's certainly not mucking about. He's going to have to watch his rear vision mirror here. He's got Ricky Bobby closing in fast. He's still purple though. Just keep an eye on it and see if he can knock another 10th or so off that fastest lap. He's still within reach of the pack. Got 6 laps to go. Still plenty that can happen. Unfortunately dips into the 114 there. He didn't get the greatest exit.
Timber Rags and Zero Placement are going toe to toe here.
Your boy Dale's in a lot of clear air. He's got 4 seconds to Morgan, 5 seconds back to this hot little battle of Timber Rags and Zero Placement. Timber Rags putting in an absolutely stellar drive tonight. He's put himself up into P3. Can't go past Zero Placement as a potential driver of the day as well. You know, P4 in his debut drive in Category 1. It's certainly not a result to be sneezed at.
Certainly not.
And the way he's hanging on the back of Tinder Rags, he certainly wants that podium. Boibagoom's still there or thereabouts, P5. 2 seconds
Nice.
off the back of Zero. But if those two get to queue with each other and take each other out, he will be right there to take full advantage of it all.
Zero's taken the inside line. Does it?
I've got a feeling we're going to see a lot of back and forth action between these two over the remaining few laps we have.
They're going toe to toe.
Good, hard, clean racing. It's what we love to see. Nothing malicious in this, just very, very hard. I've gone completely blank on the word I was going to use there.
Great driving.
Yes, it is very, very good driving. Seriously, we love to see it. That was very close to the wall there on the exit. Drag's going to show the nose, turn 1. Zero's gone defensive. Tim's gone for the switchback, and thank you, mother for the rabbits, makes it work.
Does it?
We're going to take a look at that on our live action replay because I know I can get this one right. So we see Zero going defensive. Goes to the inside. Tim says, rightio, I'm going to take the outside line. Goes wide. Feints it, ducks to the inside. Thank you very much. I'll have that. Absolutely nothing that Zero can do about it. But don't think that's going to be the end of it, I would imagine. I don't think Zero's going to take that lying down because the upside of this is you've got that long straight. You can just do the exact same thing to the guy on the very next lap. I kind of get the feeling Zero is going to do. So he's tucked right in slipstream there. Oh no, he's given a little bit of a bump draft. Maybe he's done the math on how many laps are left and says, you know what, if we just keep doing that same maneuver, you're going to be in front on the final lap. So because they're in no danger from Boibagum, there's 3 seconds back to him. So they could fight fairly heavily and not be in any danger. Oh, there we go. Hodes has had a moment at turn 2. I've just put the camera on him as he was running very, very wide. So we will see if I can catch that on our JSM Accounting live replay. Side by side with Ricky Bobby out of turn 1. He's just run wide at turn 2, onto the grass, and whee, round she goes. Oh, and I think there might have been a little collection by stickers on his way through there as well. You may have seen a semi-ghosted car and then unghosted. GT7 does... does pick some weird times to ghost and unghost cars, unfortunately.
On my screen he got through it.
I just saw the Hooncourt car move as stickers went by, so that's what made me think, but I know we'll get that in the post-race debrief. I'm sure we will hear all about it.
Meanwhile, Zero Placement's taking his spot again.
Zero's back to P3. This tit-for-tat game with Human Tim Durags is still continuing on. It's an old-fashioned drag race down the main straight here, coming onto their final lap. Alright, it's all on the table now, boys.
Oh.
No holding back. Neither of these guys is willing to give an inch. Tim Durags comes out of it, the victor so far. Still a couple of opportunities for Zero. He does, if he can get a great run onto the main straight, he should be able to get the slipstream and the overtake before the finish line. I think that will be Tim Durag's main concern right now. Into the hairpin, still holding station. That gap from Morgan Davies to Dale Teagues has come down to 2.7 seconds, but barring any spinning on a straight, Morgan Davies will take out the race win tonight for Switchblade. With a comfortable 2.5 second margin, that will be very much appreciated in terms of points for him. P2, Dale Teagues. Tim Durag, Zero placement, neck and neck across the line. Zero just gets past him. Oh my goodness! 3/300ths of a second in it. Tim Durag's P4. He will be not happy about that, but not a lot you can do. Boy Bagoom holding on to P5. Ricky Bobby finishing P6. Artsy P7. Stickers, commendable effort in P8. Hodes bringing it home in P9. E-Bulk rounding out our top 10 tonight for Symmetry. Stranger bringing it home at P11. Danico, Dadson would have been one of our earlier finishers, unfortunately, in P13. And our final driver to cross the line tonight is Danico on the alternative strategy. Yes, aka the Tyre Murderer. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our Category 1B Blue Moon Bay Round 6 run and done. Whew. That got very exciting in the later stages of that race.
It certainly did.
As we shall...
Quite impressed with Dale Teagues actually making a lot of ground on Morgan in the end.
Did that gap came down from 4.1 down to 2.3 seconds by the end of that race. So
I believe that's what it was, yeah.
As we shall take a quick recap of our race results tonight. So with the race win, Morgan Davies for Switchblade, so that'll be a nice haul of points to help push him back up into Cat 1A for the next round. P2, Dale Teagues for Kraken Esports. That will be a nice haul of team points for you guys. P3, on his debut for Symmetry Motorsports, is a zero placement, a fantastic effort. Just pipping out Tim Rags by 34 thousandths of a second in a P4, also for Switchblade, so nearly a double podium for the Switchblade boys. P5, Boy Bagoom for Black Rose. P6, Ricky Bobby for APR Motorsport. P7, Artsy for Thunder Esports. P8, Stickers for Lightning Motorsport. I think he will be rather happy to crack it into the top 8 considering his P13 start. P9 for Hooncorp is Hodes. P10 E-Bulk for Symmetry with the fastest lap of a 1:13.252, which is a very, very rapid race lap if you don't mind. P11 for the team points for Doghouse is The Stranger. P12 in a bit of a horror night for Hooncorp and Tireware is Danico. And also not having the greatest night is Dadson for Dadson Motorsport, but that's alright boys, pick your head up, come back next round, and I can understand what it's like to have a horror night here at Blue Moon Bay. It's a relatively simple track, but when it slaps you very, very hard.
Done that.
Yes, so maybe take a leaf out of my book, pour yourself a stiff rum, and have a bit of a vent, come back next round, and come back even harder. Alright, so, Mr. Bumcrack, what are your thoughts for driver of the day?
Oh look, I really can't get past Zero. What a great race he had. It's his debut race, and he did so well. Nice, clean, great fun to watch.
I am going to have to concur with you on that one. It's very difficult to go past. My other nomination would have been Tim de Rags, but the fact that it was Zero's debut race and he put himself on the podium, that gets him across the line for my Driver of the Day nomination. Checking in on the YouTube chat, it seems like Revs and Brev agree with us in regards to Zero being Driver of the Day, so I think we can officially hand that one over to him. Evening, Karen. Good to see you in the chat, mate. I'm assuming you're going to be a very happy team owner right now with that race result from Morgan and Tim de Rags. Bit unfortunate you missed out on the double podium, but you're going to have to blame the new guy for that one. So, I mean, you can't really hate on the new guy for getting a podium on his first race.
No, not at all.
Well, that is our Category 1B done, and coming up very, very shortly is the main event, Category 1A, the Ultra Fast Boys, aka the Aliens, and I am very looking forward to this round tonight, as we will get into that a little bit later after we have a short intermission. Just like to say thank you very much, Mr. Bumcrack, for being a race director tonight. Much appreciated, and it's always a pleasure having you here in the Cobbs box.
Oh, certainly my pleasure being here. It was some really good racing there tonight. As you said, the Aliens are up next. So everyone stick around for these guys. They're just ludicrously fast. You know, some of the talk in my own team room was just, my God, how? What?
Yeah, well, we
Yes.
saw a low 112 in qualifying for Cat 1B, so maybe brace yourself for an 11 with some slipstream assistance.
It's not off the cards for these.
No. I mean, we say 11s, they're probably going to be knocking on the doors of 1 minute 10s.
Oh,
no. But on that note, we shall have a short little break, so grab yourselves a snack, a fresh drink, have yourself a toilet stop, and we will be back for the main event very, very shortly. Don't go too far. And we are back. Thank you very much for sticking with us after that break. We are back here at Blue Moon Bay. Hope you got yourself a fresh drink, big bowl of snacks, and you are ready to roll for the main event tonight. Thank you again to Mr. Bumpcrack for being our race director and co-comms for that previous race. And joining me now in the comms box is none other than another one of my fellow Category 2 drivers, Mr. Revs. How are you this evening?
Doing well, mate. Thank you. Glad to be here. I think this is going to be a pretty exciting race, I think.
I would certainly hope so. If the Cat 1B race was anything to go by, pretty sure Cat 1A is going to have all of the fireworks. Hopefully the good kind. Now, I'm just going to have a quick revision of the points because I'm pretty sure all the people at home will be interested in the standings at this stage. So at the moment, we currently have a tie for first place, but on points anyway, but based off previous race results, the current first place is held by Mountain Goat from BSR. Equal with points is the former champion. I was about to say current, but Mountain Goat is the current champion. The former champion, Distinct Geesh for Ironheart, on 147 points as well. A little bit further behind is the other BSR driver in form of Foss, and fourth is my boy Lenosis from APR Motorsport. P5, after a bit of a slap from the penalties unfortunately last week, is Young Wacky from Kraken Esports. P6, John 27 from Lightning Motorsports, 1 point ahead of GTR from Blacklight, who is 2 points ahead of Nif from CP Motorsports, who is 1 point ahead of Slappers from Dadson's Racing Team, who is 1 point up on Captain Muffin from Ironheart Simsport, who's gotten himself back into 1A after a few weeks of struggling away in 1B after missing around. He's 1 point up on Heafy in P11 from Thunder Motorsports, who's 2 points up on Tombo from Blacklight, who's a couple of points up from GA50 from CP Motorsports, and Evil Evo is rounding out our top 14 from Doghouse Motorsport. So there's a fair gap between the top 3 to the other 11 drivers, but there's not a lot in it further down the point standings. So a good or bad result can change your championship standing position very, very rapidly if you are not careful. Now, I don't think we need to go over the track map again. You're all pretty familiar with it. You know what tyres we're using. We've seen what strategies evolve. So what do you say we just push that big red button and get qualifying underway?
Yeah, I guess give these guys a heads up.
Beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the YouTube chat saying hello. Lenosis is in the pit lane, but telling me that Geesh is technically winning. He messed up the graphics, even on points. Look, you know what? I'm just going to say they're even and be damned. They're even on points, therefore they are even. I'm disregarding previous results. There you go. How's that?
Well, ready to go?
I am good when you are good to go. People in the chat, I'd love to hear your pole position predictions.
8 seconds.
Will it be Goaty? Will it be Geesh? Is Muffin going to pull a rabbit out of the hat?
They've all been looking pretty good.
What are your thoughts, Revs? Who's been looking good in practice?
I think it's going to boil down to the first corner into the infield and the last corner. If you can keep those 2 corners under control, that'll stop a lot of wear and tear on your tires, and I think it'll help a lot on your race time.
Okay, that's the how. I'm interested in the who. Come on, throw some names at me.
Well, Lenosis was looking really good in practice. So was Goat. I tip my hat. I'd go with Lenosis for the wild card.
Okay, interesting. I mean, hashtag no bias for me, but We've got first out on track, waiting for the timing gear to sort itself out. Thank you very much, GT7, for building a coherent game. I love it. So, first out on track is Lenosis with those brightly coloured pink wheels, although it is hard to see them a little bit because it is quite overcast here at Blue Moon Bay. I don't think we're going to see any rain, but it's certainly a bit dark and a bit cold. Second out on track is Nif from CP Motorsports. Third is a GTR from Blacklight, and we've got sitting in his slipstream from Doghouse is Evil Evo. He will be quite happy to sit in there. All by himself. Oh, got in fifth on track at the moment is Foss from BSR, possibly giving a little bit of a slipstream assistance to his teammate Mountain Goat. We did see that slipstream assistance working rather well for these guys the last round in Sardinia. Unfortunately, the race probably didn't go as well for them as the qualifying session did, but we'll see how they go for their 2 flying laps. Captain Muffin, 7th on the track. It's got Heafy and Jeesh for company. They've all spread themselves out rather nicely. But the guys who are close to another driver are well within slipstream range, so they're certainly very strategic about this. Make no mistake about it, the gaps between drivers are very, very deliberate. We've got Combo for Blacklight, Young Wakey for Kraken Esports, J50 for CP Motorsports, Slappers for Dadson, and John for Lightning, rounding out our top 14. As Lenosis is first across the line, but gets quickly booted out of pole position by GTR, who subsequently gets booted out of pole position by Mountain Goat, who drops a 1 minute 12.285, if you do not mind.
Yeah, very nice.
That is 1/10 faster than GTR, who is currently purple. Foss puts himself into 3rd position. Of course they're purple, it's lap 3. Captain Muffin, P4. His teammate, out-qualifying his teammate by 1/1000th of a second in P5. I reckon even Muffin's probably sitting back going, how did I manage to do that? And Jeesh is 5/1000th of a second up on Young Wacky. There's only 2/10ths between the top 6 at this point. So Lenosis has been shoved well and truly out of the top 8. So keep an eye on this. Is their second qualifying lap, run and done. That's it. That is it. Goaty's done his 2 flying laps. GDR's got himself into P2. Everyone's still going very, very rapidly. I wonder if they realise that they're meant to be on a cooldown lap. And you know what? I have been an absolute idiot and not had the footage of qualifying on the stream.
Oh,
it has
wow.
just been listening to a radio broadcast. So everybody at home who was attempting to watch, my sincere apologies. That is operator error on my part. AKA, I have the stupid. So that is our 2-shot qualifying run and done. Now, there was a bit of a shambles there for the viewers at home. My sincere apologies. As we shall wait for the countdown timer to burn itself out so we can have a quick recap of the qualifying results. Rightio, that is our qualifying session run and done. Unfortunately, you guys didn't get to see too much of it, but that's okay. I promised to show you the entire length of the race. How's that? How's that for a deal? Rightio, so we have qualifying on pole position with a 1 minute 12.285 for BSR is a young mountain goat. Not that far behind for Blacklight Motorsport is GTR. Improving rather nicely on his second flying lap for Ironheart Simsport is Geesh, put himself into P3. Just pipping out Foss from BSR in P4. Holding himself firm in P5 is Captain Muffin for Ironheart. Solid position in P6 for Kraken Esports is Young Wakey. Great effort in qualifying for Blacklight is Tombo. So there's 2 Blacklight cars up in the top 8. I'm pretty sure the good doc will be very, very happy at this stage. As will Brocky with the 2 BSR cars up there. And also, speaking of happy team owners, yeah, the Ironheart Ironheart boys are there as well. We've got 2 CP. Oh my goodness. So Nif in P8. Just get on with it. P9, we've got John from Lightning Motorsport. Got P10 Slappers from Dadson. P11 is Heafy from Thunder Esports. P12, J50 from CP. P13, Evil Evo from Doghouse. And rounding out our grid tonight is Lenosis from APR Motorsport with probably not as good a qualifying session as he would have liked, but as we saw from stickers in the previous race, starting at the back of the grid does not necessarily mean a terminal result. So what are your thoughts, Revs?
Pretty impressive. The entire field's within a second of each other, so it should be an interesting race.
That is true. That is quite the narrow margin. I mean, it is a short track, but to have 14 drivers within, you know, less than a second of each other, that is a very, very tight qualifying session. So, guys in the chat, yes, you are taking the mickey out of me. Yep, totally agree with everything being said, except for doing qualifying again. We are not doing that. Sorry. Qualifying is as it is. But I'll tell you what, how about we get the race started so you can watch that. How does that sound?
There you go. 9 seconds. Custom purple with pink polka dots this time.
I like it. Purple with pink polka dots. I'm a fan. All right, everyone in the YouTube chat, throw in your podium predictions, please. Top 3. I want to see them. As we have cars on the grid, always a good thing. Two lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And the lights are gone and we are underway here at Blue Moon Bay. Fairly solid start. Everyone's tucking into a single file, getting into the slipstream nice and early. No mucking around. Everyone just running line astern through turn 1. Don't think anyone wants to do anything too crazy on the first lap. I sincerely hope nobody wants to do anything too crazy on the first lap.
Very nice.
As Foss and Muffin are looking side by side into the hairpin. Muffin gets the move done. I think Foss wants to have a conversation about it through the tabletop. Holds his own, takes a position back. Foss has got himself into an eye on the heart sandwich here. Muffin's looking down the inside of the final turn. Side by side through the final turn. Oh, I think there was a little scrape on the wall for Foss there. Young Wacky's playing the slipstream game on Muffin. Wants to go on through. Oh, this is going to get very spicy. There's 5 cars going to go into the space where you normally fit 2 in turn 1. I'm almost scared to look. John's on the back of this too with his mate Tombo. Lots of banter between those two off the track. Probably a fair bit on the track as well, but very fierce competitors. Nothing doing in terms of position changes right now. So got Mountain Goat still out in front, 6/10 to the good. GDR in second. He's got G's 3/10 off his bumper. He's got his teammate Muffin as a rear gunner at the moment. And with that pack behind him, he's going to need all the help he can get because there is a lot of talent right there who will not hesitate to make a move if they get half an opportunity.
Noses up the inside of Slappers. Takes care of that nice and easy.
Where am I looking? P11 gets the move
P11.
done. Okay. So there we go. Lenosis has started his climb. Started P14. He's up into P11 on lap 3. It's 1 position a lap. It's fairly solid effort. He's looking to make a move here on Heafy. Chucks it down the inside of the hairpin. Does run a little bit deep on the exit, but that will give him the inside for the tabletop. Heafy lets it go. Kind of curious as to who's running what tyre at the moment, but we might just hold off a few more laps before we get into that kind of info. Look back up the front. Mountain Goat still out there. He's still half a second to the goods. So that gap is just holding steady to GDR. And he does just... GDR just pinches... Oh, wait. I'm trying to call the fastest lap, gentlemen. Can you calm down? It was Goaty, and then it was Muffin, and then it was GDR, and now Lenosis has got the fastest lap with a 1:13.486. So GDR's actually managed to pull a little bit of a gap back to G. She's still got Muffin as his rear gunner. When I say a little bit of a gap, it's 8/10, which is not a lot in any other category, but in 1A, that is massive. It's all relative. Young Wacky is still right there on the back of Muffin's rear bumper, playing a little bit of Morse code. Boss is still in this as well, he's not going anywhere. Tombo's hanging on to P7, just holding out John.
Something happened to Slappers, not sure what.
Ooh, he has gone a long way off the back of the grid. Dare say it's happened somewhere on this lap. As he crosses a line with about a 1:23 second lap. Yeah, he's had a bit of a mare somewhere on that late infield section.
4, 5, and 6. Having an argument.
Ooh, yes, it is getting very, very spicy with Wacky and Foss and Muffin. Sorry, Wacky and Muffin. I think Wacky wants to give Muffin a bit of a hurry up. Muffin says, hold your horses, young fella. I'm in P4. You're going to have to earn it. But He's doing a great job of being rear gunner for his teammate right now. He is very much a cork in the bottle. And I say that with all the love in the world for Muffin, but he's got right jammed behind him. He's got Wacky, Foss, Tombo, John, Niff, and on the charge up the field in P10 at the moment is Zlanosis. He's going to be back on the pack of these boys in the
waking off the wall.
In the blink of an eye, and things go horribly wrong for young Wacky. As
Looks
we
like
shall,
Foss is regressing.
we shall try and have a look at that on our JSM Accounting live action replay. Oh, someone on the main straight was... What happened there? Just missed the action of what happened there with young Wacky. Maybe there was a little bit of touching on the main straight. I cannot say for certain.
It did look like Foss regressed though.
Well, Foss is still in front of Wacky, so... Oh, well, we'll have to get into the post-race debrief. But in that meantime, Geesh has managed to get his way past GDR up into P2. So GDR on that last lap ran a 1:13.8 and Geesh ran a 1:13.6. Previous lap GDR had the lap in the 1:14, so I'd say that's where Geesh has managed to make up the gap and get past. Although as I say that, GDR is currently purple through the first sector. I don't think they want to fight too much though, because Mountain Goat's out to 1.4 seconds. If you give that boy an inch, he will take a mile. And confirm, the cheeky little bugger will just skip off into the distance. So I think if Geesh and GDR are as smart as I think they are, I reckon they should work together on this. Just for the first stint, like put your team differences aside and work together to take down that little pink and blue car.
Oh, GTR with the new fastest lap.
That is absolutely moving too. A 1:13.1. So while we're here on lap 8, would you be able to fill myself and the viewers at home in on who's running what tyre? Because I am genuinely curious about this.
Yeah, everyone is running the same tire. Everyone is on videos.
Okay. Right. Such originality and creativity across the board here in Cat 1A.
Well, the times that they're running, I mean, I was doing that on slower than that on soft.
Yep. Yep. I'm in that same boat. I was half a second slower than these guys on a faster tyre with less fuel in the tank. I am. That's why they're the aliens in Cat 1, and that's why we're in Cat 2.
Very impressive.
Right. It's something to work towards.
Gone up the rear end of Foss for 6th and 7th.
Tombo's done alright. He's moved up into P5. I think he's taken advantage of a few little incidents going on around him. He's stayed out of trouble. He's right on the back of, now just in front of Captain Muffin. He's managed to get past the cork in the bottle. Boss is now in the middle of that spicy pack. Tombo and Muffin just in front of him. John and Young Mackie just behind him. Come along to join the party. Zlanosis in P9. He's bringing Niff along for the ride. He's only 2/10 off the back of the APR car. Let's cut back to that GDR battle, see how that's going. little bit of a gap forming there. When I say little bit, it's 4/10ths. Going into turn 1. GDR looks like he's going to make a move. Thinks better of it. Backs out of it. Oh, geez, a little bit of sideways action there into turn 2. That's going to hurt. A couple of tenths lost there. A couple of tenths in normal circumstances. It's not a big deal, but on a circuit this short and when your competition's this tight, remember the entire field was split by 8 tenths. 2 tenths is a lot of time to lose. So that battle's settling down a little bit. Tombo's holding station in P4. Muffin's still P5. As I say that, Foss is looking to the inside. Sends it down the inside of Muffin at turn 1. Textbook move, gets it done. Muffin wants to have an argument about it though through turn 2. Hangs it around the outside. I've seen this end in grass. And that was dangerously close to doing exactly that. Muffin's had to get off the gas. He's lost a bit of time to let Foss get away, and that's brought John and Young Wacky right up to the back of Muffin. There's a time and a place to argue about a position. Turn 2, round the outside, probably not either of those. There's a whole lot of grass on the outside of that corner and there's not a whole lot of grip. So these guys have just absolutely buggered off from the next down in line, which is Niff in P9. He's 2.5 seconds off the back of Young Wacky. He's got 1.5 seconds to Lenosis in P10. We're on lap 12, so I'm thinking it might be a good time for a tyre and fuel update just to see how everybody is travelling. What do you think, Revs?
Yeah, sounds good to me. All right, start with Mountain Goat. Okay, out of the top 3, GTR has the best fuel. Out of the top 3, Goat has the best tires, so that front right really gets very worn down here. So we'll start with Mountain Goat's got just over a half a tank, and he's probably only used maybe 12% of his front right tire. Keith has used about 20% of his tire, and but he's got the better fuel just above what Goat has. GTR, he's got tires about 88-90%, and he's got the best fuel, like I said earlier, just over a half a tank.
He's very sideways into turn 1 there. Sorry, just watching
right.
GDR take turn 1, and that was very much a rallycross corner.
Boss, yeah, you're right. He looks like he's got about 85% of a tire, and he's right on a half a tank of fuel. Tombo, same tire, and he's got just maybe a touch less, 2% less than Foss. Tombo and Wakey are having an argument going into their bin. Okay.
Tombo and Wakey or
Where
Tombo and Muffin? We're up
Muffin,
to Muffin in P6.
Yeah, Muffin's used a lot of his tire. He's got a little over a half a tank of fuel, but he's used about maybe
Well, Tombo's had a little tap on the
25?
wall there. Coming out of the...
I think he's used about 25% of his tire.
So Tombo's dropped back down to P6 there, and John's going to have a run on him as well. That's going to stuff up our tyre and fuel order, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So how's John travelling for tyres?
Okay, John's on about 80%, and he's got less than a half tank of fuel. We did Tomo. Wakey.
Yep.
Wakey's right on a half a tank of fuel, and his tires look all right. It looks like he's about 85%, 90 left. Nif, ooh, his tire's looking really bad. Just less than half a tire, and he's got under a half a tank of fuel. He's really digging into those tires. Lenosis, he's got about 55% of a tire and just under a half a tank. Heafy's got just under a half a tire on that front right, and just under a half a tank of fuel. Evo's got about 60% of his tire and just under a half a tank of fuel. CPJ50, his tires are looking really good, and so is his fuel. One of the best in the field. Slappas is probably eating up his fuel, trying to catch up to everybody. He was way down. He's only 3 seconds now from the back of the field. He's doing well catching up, and he's got about 70% of a tire left.
Nice. So everyone's, for the most part, there's only a few people sort of outside of what I guess your average tyre wear is. Thank you very much for that tyre and fuel update, Revs, brought to you by APR Automotive. So we just cut back to up the front, the gap back to Geesh from Mount Goat is still hovering around that just over a second mark, so he has brought it down a couple of tenths. GDR is still our fastest lap holder with a 1:13.1. He's still on the back of Geesh, not letting go. John's put himself up into P5. Young Wacky's coming through to P6. Muffin is bleeding positions here. He's currently under fire from Tombo, who definitely wants his spot back. He's down the inside on the final turn. Too wide there. Muffin does graze the wall. That's going to cost him a few kilometres an hour, but he will be able to tuck back into Tombo's slipstream to try and negate that. It's still going to hurt, but might be able to stay out of the... Actually, no, he doesn't stay out of the clutches of... Wait, what am I talking about? I've got these two drivers backwards. The Ironheart and Blacklight cars, yeah, my brain is mixing them up. Not going to lie. It's like the Hoon Corp and the Black Rose cars all over again for me. It's the Ironheart and the Blacklight cars. Would have been easier if they just had have stayed green. No, they had to go to red and blue, didn't they? I mean, it looks sensational, but it's confusing for my primitive brain.
Ooh, ETR a little loose in the rear end.
Ooh, he has done too. It's put him another half second
off the
further
wall.
back from... Well, that's definitely not going to help as well.
Saying that, the top three have walked away with 4 seconds of an advance over the rest of the field. Tombo is in.
Tombo in the pits. Now, from memory, he is a controller user, so what's he done? 16 laps on a set of mediums?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's got a half a tire, so he could have done more. He had plenty of fuel to get going, so there must be a strategy.
I'm wondering if he's going to do... Well, he's got a 22 lap one stop, or 2 11s on a medium, or you could do 2 11 lap stints with the soft tire, which you'd have to be setting really rapid laps to negate that extra stop you're going to make.
It looks like he's filling up, so I think he's probably going to go all the way to the end on this. Not 90%. So
GDR's hit the wall again, coming out of the final corner. That's dropped him out of slipstream to Geesh. He's 1.4 seconds back now. Boss in a little bit of clear air as well. He's got 4 seconds to GDR, and he's got 1.5 seconds back to John, P4. He's got young Wanky in tow, P6. He's not going away. Captain Muffin's got a slipstream buddy in the form of Niff. There's only a couple of tenths in that. And 3 seconds further down the road, back to Lenosis, P9 after starting, P14. Certainly a decent effort. And that turn 2, turn 3 camera is haunting me. Lenosis running a little wide there onto the grass. Evil Evo in P10. We've got J50 from CP Motorsports, the company. Not far behind them is Slappers. He's looking to offset his earlier minor disaster. I'm still not sure what happened, but I'm sure we will find out post-race.
GTR in the pits.
The end of lap 18.
And Wakey. And Muffin.
CPJ's in the pits as well. All very similar fuel numbers, except for J50. He's got a 10% fuel advantage over the guys in front of him. So there's 5 seconds right there. Assuming they fill up to the same amount of fuel, that's 5 seconds less that he's going to be sitting in the pits. Mountain Goat still out of front, still comfortably 1.2 seconds up on Geesh. But don't think
his race times just look so impressive. Every one of his laps have been in the 113s. It's just uncanny. It's like next level for sure.
Yeah, look, I was going to give the Metronome Award to the Stranger for his lap times, but I'm thinking Mountain Goat might just have him covered. If not Geesh. Although both Goat and Geesh have just dropped into the 114s on their previous lap, so possibly the medium tyres are starting to become a little bit worse for wear. Give John a little bit of TV time. He's currently sitting in third on the track, provisional third. Of course, he's yet to pit, but you know, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Lucky for him, doesn't rain here. Speaking of which, the weather has cleared up nicely. A lot of blue skies, some light fluffy clouds floating around. But having said that, the increased track temperature is not going to do good things for your tyre degradation.
Boss took on 70 liters. Lenosis took 81.
Mountain Goat into the pits. He's decided to pull the pin, go for the undercut. Geesh goes around again. John decides, I'm going to follow the young fella. He's only 3% less fuel. Niff says, bugger it, I'm going around again. I'm going to follow what Geesh is doing. What's Heapy going to do? Heapy's gone around again as well. Now let's watch where Captain Muffin is. So he's already pit. And he set a purple lap with a 113.130. And he's jumped GDR and... No, he's jumped Mountain Goat. GDR's loving his rallycross style through turn 1. And he has jumped Mountain Goat.
she's in.
Right, so can you give us some insight into who's done what tyres after those pit stops?
Okay, so look. The only person who's changed tires is Captain Muffin, who's now on the softs.
Ah, right.
He's only just got over a quarter of a tank, so it looks like he's going to do a short fuel, quick stint on softs.
Alright, so
Everybody
Muffin
else
is
is
the
on the
only driver on the soft tyre.
At this present time, yes.
Right, interesting. I would have thought we'd see Tombo go onto the softs. Especially after his, well, I don't know if early's the right word, because I'm not sure what kind of strategy he's running, but I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It just seems like a very early pit stop, so I would have thought he would have gone for a soft tyre, but, you know, I'm just a Cat 2 driver. What do I know? Ooh, so we see Mountain Goat exploring the grass there at the exit of turn 3. Turn 4. I'm not sure which one it is. Counting has never been my strong suit. I leave that up to the JSM accounting group. Sneaky plug.
Ooh, Lenosis is off the wall.
Oh dear.
Position 13. Evo moves into 12.
Captain Muffin's done a fantastic job here to leap up into P2. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Heafy hasn't pit yet, has he?
No, he hasn't. His tires are screaming at him, so I would imagine either he might make one more lap on those tires, but he's got the fuel to do it, but I don't know if he's got the rubber.
So Heafy hasn't pit, so that means Muffin is P1. Provisionally.
Provisionally, yeah.
Wow, he's... I'm trying to work out how the heck he's managed that. I mean, we all know he loves a good old strat, but has he like majorly underfueled?
Well, he only went out with just over a quarter of a tank of fuel, so he purposely short fueled himself.
Oh!
Definitely doesn't have enough to make it to the end, so I believe he'll have to pit again.
Right, so here we go. Here's the Muffin alt strat. Low fuel, soft tyre, get the extra point for the fastest lap, bank that, and then another soft tyre stint, and see how good of a position you can bring it home in? I don't know, is that what he's going for, perhaps?
I think Heafy's trying to make it to the distance where you can put the softs on and go to the end. 24-25, that'll be, after 25 laps, that's 13 on the softs. So maybe he's going to try to do 14 on the softs to make it to the end. We'll see.
We will definitely keep an eye on who's doing what there.
Goes into the pits. Ooh, scrapes the wall. Those tires are just screaming at him. He's going around again. Wow.
It's brave. That's brave.
Very.
He's determined to stick to his strategy. Oop, I've just skipped to Geesh, and he has got a half-second penalty that he's just serving now. Possibly a track limit somewhere in the infield, but that is going to hurt. That is going to bring young Wacky right up onto the back of him, because it's the penalties burn zone is in the worst possible position on this track.
Yeah, hurts 2 laps, that does.
So that's brought young Wacky back from 3 seconds back down to 1 second, so that's definitely more than a half-second penalty.
Slappers, who was like 15 seconds behind the entire field, is now past Lenosis, and he's up into 13th.
Wow, Good effort, slappers. Well done. Mountain Goat's almost onto the back of GDR now. Less than a second in it. So I guess with Muffin definitely needing another pit stop before the end of the race, that technically puts GDR provisionally P1. So during that pit stop, he did manage to get a jump on the Goat. Because Heafy still needs to pit, and Muffin hasn't got enough fuel to make it to the end.
Heafy going around again.
I'd say he's definitely going for that soft tyre second stint.
He's only got a sliver of a hair of mediums on that front right.
Geesh has managed to stabilise that gap back to Young Wakey in just over a second. Can't afford any more penalties. Boss is in some clear air in P7. 1.3 off the back of Young Wacky. Got over 6 seconds back to John in P8. And this camera at turn 3 is really giving me the irrits.
Oh, does it ever.
John's got a fairly healthy gap over Tombo, the tune of 2.3 seconds. J50s. He's 2.5 seconds off the back of Tombo. He's a bit over a second in front of Niff. So the two CP guys might just start working together at this stage. Or they might not. I've been wrong about a lot of things. Why should this be any different? As Heafy comes into the pit with 1% fuel left in the tank. And it's probably fairly safe to say he's going to throw on a fresh set of racing softs and go to the end. Muffin's still slapping down qualifying laps in the 1:13s. GDR's still got Mountain Goat a couple of tenths off the back of him as he's very sideways through turn 4. That is not going to do good things for your tyre wear or the gap to the guy behind you. Excellent display of car control though. That was almost a clean up in aisle 4 moment. Just can't quite get the run on GDR. This Buffett has gone around again. Has managed to just eke a couple of tenths out over Young Wakey. It's up to 1.2. Doesn't seem to be making any inroads into Mountain Goat though, unfortunately. If he's not careful, he will have Young Wakey and Foss for company. Foss is only 1.3 off the back of Wakey. I reckon we will be seeing Captain Muffin coming into the pits right now.
Yep.
As I was just thinking, with 10 laps, lap 28, 10 laps to go, he will be in for a fresh set of softs, and he has, what, 3% in the tank, so he will be filling up with just enough to get to the end, and a fresh set of racing softs, and he will be just dropping qualifiers to see how it goes for him. I mean, he does have that fastest lap point in the bank. I am fairly certain it'll be pretty safely his. Because everyone else is running sort of low 113s, but they're about 3/10 off his fastest lap. And with tyre wear coming in, I don't see it happening. This GDR's now first on the road, but he does have a bumper sticker in the form of Mountain Goat.
Well, if he's on the set of softs, so he might have a chance to go for it. And Captain Muffin with the new set, I expect him to be in the 12s.
Cody's not making
Two
a
drivers.
move just yet.
Ooh. Beefy off the wall. 14th.
He's had a
He's
bit
got
of a
damage
moment,
to
has
the
he?
front spoiler.
Alright, so Muffin's come out of the pits in P13. He does have the fastest lap, but that's only one extra point. I don't know how this is going to go for him in terms of finishing position. Thinking maybe the old strat was not the way to go this week. A nice little battle pack here in the form of Evil Evo, Lenosis and Slappers, who's right on the back of the APR car.
Slappers just did a bump trap on the Gnosis to help them both catch up to Evil Evo.
Some good strategy on the fly between the drivers. It's like, I'll help you get him because you will help me get him kind of scenario.
Ooh. The Gnosis up to 10th.
And Slappers makes his way through on Evil Evo as well.
Up the inside by Slappers.
Just take a look at that on our JSM live action replay. Might have just missed that skin motif, but that's okay. So the three of them are still going at it. Lenosis thought he was going for the bump there, decides, nope, I'm going to send it down the inside of Slappers after Slappers has made his way past somewhere on that lap. Evil Evo wants to have a look down the inside, backs out of it. Lenosis runs a little bit wide there on turn 1. Not quite wide enough to let Slappers through. Am I seeing... Nope. 3 cars went in, 3 cars came out. That's okay. Evil Evo's gone defensive on Slappers into the hairpin. Holds him out. That has let Lenosis get away a little bit of breathing room. Checking back in up the front. GTR still P1. Half a second clear of Mountain Goat. But 6 laps to go. Anything can and will be likely to happen. Sheesh is making inroads though. Got to look out. That gap a couple of laps ago was at 3 seconds. It's now down to 1.7. So don't think GDR or Goaty are in the clear just yet. There is a very, very quick Geesh on the hunt. And 1.7 seconds in 5.5 laps, it's perfectly doable. I mean, he's dropping 113.4s on a scarily regular basis. And that last lap, Goaty and GDR were in the 14s. So, given that time discrepancy, I'd say another 4 laps and Geesh is going to make this a 3-way up the front.
That fastest lap by Muffin with a 1:12.885.
Oh, get out. Get Muffin. That is ridiculous. What are you in? You're in P12. You're in P12. He's joining that fight with Slappers and Evil Evo and will be up on the back of Lenosis very, very soon. So, if he keeps going the way he's going, he's going to crack into the top 10. He's getting a little bit of a bump help from Slappers down the main straight, who's probably worked out that, yeah, Muffin's on a hot streak here, I'm just going to tag on the back of him. I mean, smart move, because that'll get you right back up to Evil Evo and Lenosis. Foss is still holding station over. Well, he's pulled out a little bit of a gap, the young wacky. He's got it out to 8/10, so he doesn't have that Kraken bumper sticker anymore. John's in a bit of clear air in P6. He's got 6 seconds in front, 4 seconds to Tombo behind. I think the fact that Tombo's behind him, it will probably be what's putting a smile on his face about tonight's result. As long as he beats Tombo.
Mountain Goat up the inside of GTR for the lead.
Oh, there we go. Good timing. Thanks for that call. GDR hangs it around the outside of turn 1. That's getting very, very cute with the wall, boys. Don't be doing that. Oh, bit of touching going into turn 2. I don't think there was anything untoward there. Just some very hard and fast racing. I think Godey's seen Geesh coming through and has decided, hey, enough is enough. I need to get some breathing room, because Geesh is now down to less than a second behind them. And these two cannot afford to muck around, because he is going to be on them ASAP. GDR's just a little squirmy there coming out of the tabletop. Nobody can afford to touch the wall here. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a very feisty final 4 laps with these top 3. Don't think this order is determined by any means at this stage. These boys have decided to calm it down for half a second. I'm going to take a chance to have a drink. I've got the feeling in the last couple of laps my voice is not going to get much of a rest.
GTR up the inside. Takes the lead. Ooh, little touch. Heading up to the tabletop.
There we are.
Ooh.
This battle for the lead is now a 3-way. Mountain Goat. Very, very squirmy coming out of the tabletop. Oh, there's a lot of non-consensual touching going on between him and GDR.
Oh.
How did they all keep it off the wall there? How?
Geesh with a bump draft on GTR.
Yep. And look who's in the background. Foss. Just in case things go pear-shaped with these 3. He will be in the prime position to say thank you very much. I'll have that. Geesh pulls out wide, Godey to the inside. GDR sends it right down the middle.
Up the inside.
And they all end
3
up
wide.
in this. Oh boy, here we go. 3 wide in third 2. And nobody dies. And the camera cuts out.
Still
Of course it
3 wide.
does. Oh, Geesh around the GDR.
Oh, well done.
Oh my, this is... I'm just going to shut up and let the action speak for itself. I can't keep up. Oh, 3 wide into the hairpin. People are getting me.
Oh, a little tap on the rear quarter.
Oh, wow. Alright, so after all of that, Godey still holds out in first position. Geesh has managed to take over second from GDR, but don't think that is done by any stretch. The gap back to Foss is now down to 1.2 seconds. We've got 2 laps left, so if these guys keep up the front, keep fighting like this could go into a 4-way real quick. Just checking in, young Wakey's 1 second behind Foss in P5, so he's there or thereabouts as well. So it's about to get very strategic from these top 3. Who wants to be where in regards to the slipstream? I'm going to hunt down that turn 3 cameraman, and I'm going to do some very nasty things to him. He's going to be getting a very, verbal education on where he should be standing and pointing his camera. But anyway, the two top point scorers at this point in the Cat 1 Championship are our top two on track at the moment. Rounding the final corner for the penultimate time, lap 37 and 38. It all comes down to this. One lap to go. Who can pull it out of the hat? Can Goaty hang on? Can Jeesh pull out something special? Let's sit back and have a look, because I can't predict the future at the best of times.
10, 11, and 12 having an argument. Slap is up the inside. Lenosis slap is in the last turn. Bump draft.
All drivers through turn 1 safely. GDR's lost a little bit of ground there. He might be coming under fire from Foss by the looks of things by the end of this lap. I think Foss is going to throw it down here at the hairpin. He is on an absolute charge. Oh, he may not quite be close enough here. Might be able to get a run out of the final corner. Skipping back to Goat and Jeesh up the front. Goat still just got the edge on Jeesh as they round the tabletop for the final time. It's all going to come down to the run out of the final corner in the slipstream. It is going to be a good old-fashioned drag race to the finish line. And both drivers get out of it clean. And we are just a straight-up slipstream assisted drag race right now. Goat pulls to the inside. Caddy hold on to it.
He ran out of fuel, did he?
I think he's out of fuel. He is out of fuel. Oh my goodness. What a finish.
At the line.
GTR hangs on for P3, Foss P4, Wakey P5, John P6 in a great finish for him. Nif is in a drag race with Tombo for P7, just tipping him for a position. J50 for CP, P9, Captain Muffin on the Alt Strat, bringing home P10 along with the fastest lap, his consolation prize. Slappers P11, Lenosis P12, Evil Evo P13, and rounding out of the final corner tonight is Heafy for Thunder Esports. Possibly a night he might rather forget, but still picking up a healthy collection of points, I would say. And that is our Category 1A Round 6 at Blue Moon Bay. Run and done. Oh, wow, that finish. I did not see a driver running out of fuel determining the result. Yeah, that was certainly not on my bingo card for tonight. Wow. I'm gonna need to take a breath for a second before we go over our race results. Ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube chat, start having a think about your Driver of the Day nominations as we have a look for our race results tonight. In P1, in a absolute grandstand finish for Ironheart Simsport is Jeesh. Unfortunately, running out of fuel in the dying moments of the race relegates him back to P2. Is Mountain Goat for BSR. Bringing home P3 for Blacklight is GTR. It's good to see him back up on the podium again. It has been a while and some misfortunes since I've last seen him on the podium, so well done, mate. Good to see you there again. P4 is Foss for BSR, so there'll be a nice haul of team points for the BSR guys tonight. P5, great recovery actually after a bit of an early horror for young Wacky from Kraken Esports. P5, it's a good solid result for John. P6 for Lightning Motorsport. P7, Nif for CP. P8 is Tombo, so a good healthy haul of team points for Blacklight. Pretty sure the good doc will be very, very happy with that. P9's J50 for CP. P10 Captain Muffin for Ironheart with the fastest lap of a 1:12.885, which is ridiculous for a race lap. P11 for Dadson is Slappers, P12 for APR Motorsport is Lenosis, P13 for Doghouse Motorsport is Evil Evo, and rounding out our grid tonight, P14 for Thunder Esports is Heafy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our Sector 1 Season 10 Round 6 run and done. Rightio, so, Revs, driver of the day, what are your thoughts?
Well, I take my hat off to the top 3, but I have to be a little bit of bias. I'll go with Slappers. At the beginning of the race, he was around 20 seconds behind everybody, and he came from dead last and moved up to 11th and didn't give up. Stayed there, kept his head strong, and yeah, coming 11th, I think that's pretty good considering where he was.
Fair. I'm a little torn. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to sling my driver of the day nomination. I'm probably going to have to throw it out to John. Fairly solid result. Kept his head down for most of the race. Had a fairly quiet one, but pretty good solid performance. So P6, he's certainly not going to complain about that. I guess my other thought would be Foss, actually. He dropped back a little down the grid after an earlier incident. Not quite sure exactly what happened, but I'm sure we'll find out in the post-race debrief. But dropped a few positions, but managed to claw his way back up and secure a P4. So another commendable effort. Looking to our YouTube chat, Mr. Adelaide Ceramic Coatings, Goaty for driver of the day for finishing with no fuel. Mr. Bumcrack says GDR for driver of the day. Grovel, GDR, with a shout out to Slappers. Is that his first Cat 1A race?
I believe so.
My memory is not the one to be relied upon here, but I would say so. Debrev's driver of the day Foss, Brocky driver of the day John for not needing wets. Yep. Thankfully it looked rather threatening in terms of rain here at Blue Moon Bay, but the rain did not come, which is probably a good thing because it's not supposed to in GT7 at this track, and if it did rain I would have some serious concerns.
But would it surprise you?
Well, would I be surprised? No. Would I be annoyed? Most definitely.
Yes.
Speaking of annoyed, once I exit the combox tonight, I'm headed down to Term 3 to go have a bit of a remonstration with a certain cameraman. So,
yeah.
I would just like to say thank you very much to yourself, Revs, for being race director and joining me in the comms box tonight. I would also like to say thank you to everybody who's on the stream. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Also, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, you know the deal, on the video. Also like to say thank you to all the drivers for putting on the show for us tonight. And once again, thank you to our sponsors in the form of Boxer Beauty and APR Motorsport for bringing to us our Category 1 tonight. Stay tuned for next week's racing action, where I mistakenly said last time we were off to Alsace, when in fact we were headed to Blue Moon Bay. This time I can say with 100% confidence that we are headed to the track name that I cannot pronounce properly. I can only spell it. So, yes, that one. We will see you all next week for the Category 2 guys, which includes yourself and myself. So hopefully we can put on as good a show for the people at home as the Cat 1 guys did tonight, because both races were an absolute cracker.
It was.
So I guess without further ado, I'm going to bid you all a good night, and I'm going to have a very one-sided conversation with a cameraman. Thank you all again.
Night, everybody.